Hello everybody, it is Wednesday the 30th of March. I want to talk about the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab's brilliant idea, about how you have nothing and you're going to be really happy, and just the idea of the universal income. Now, as I said in my last video, if you actually look at that with your eyes open, what Klaus Schwab is saying, is to say you will have a universal income, but you will have no possessions, and you will happily work for a greater good, and as I say, you're going to be extremely happy, which is basically what Jesus said. Give away all of your possessions and do the work of that which is greater than yourself, and make that your full fulfillment, and you're going to be extremely happy. Of course, you're going to be ruled over, which Klaus Schwab is actually on the same page there as well. You are going to be ruled over. So, we look at this in this world. In the Bible, you can tell that to the Christians and they're going to scream, glory, hallelujah, let's all go there. When they're experiencing it for real, then suddenly it doesn't look so good anymore. But, as I said, Jesus was the outer edge. He ran with an idea and he ran all the way. You could quite happily say that Jesus was an extremist. Yeah? And again, in this world, we know to be wary of extremists. But just because he's taking it to the extreme does not mean that on the way, there's actually truth in that. And there is. There is actually truth in that. There's actually a way by which a universal income could work an awful lot of good and would actually set this thing right. Not the way they're proposing it, obviously. The first thought is that if this is about creating balance, equality, and not balance and equality for the sake of balance and equality, but it should serve life. So then balance and equality itself are in service of a higher thing, which is life itself. So then obviously what Klaus Schwab is saying is not it. Because we all know that when they're talking about universal income, they're not talking about themselves. Obviously. And no, it will not create balance. It will increase the imbalance. The gap between the bottom and the top will get even bigger. Yeah? And when they talk about universal income and what they're going to give to you, well, if you look at the benefits we are receiving now when we need them, and you see how far they take you, then you have a fair idea what that universal income will give to you. Because it's going to be along the same lines, because it's thought of by the same people. So it will be barely enough to live on, would be my expectation. So no, worked like that, and when the pyramid still exists, that is to say the ones at the top that receive everything, and now the ones at the bottom will have nothing and they're going to be happy about it, ain't going to work. But how could a universal income actually work? First of all, it would need to be where you're at a good living standard. And again, it is where are you balanced? Where you do have enough and maybe a little bit more to be frivolous. Because being frivolous is actually really nice at times. If you do something for absolutely no reason, but it's nice, why not? It's actually good. So that is where we would all need to be. And all would need to be, obviously, at that stage, including the top. So if that were to happen, the way I can see it working good is because people say, what, if we all get the same pay, where would the incentive be for like studying to become a doctor or to go into government? If you're just being paid the same as everybody else, where's the incentive for that? And the incentive would be that you do it because that is what you want to do. See, right now people are going into positions with the wrong incentive. Doctors, and I mean, I'm not making a sweeping statement here because it's obviously stupid. Some do become doctors because of the prestige and the money that will be there in the end. Not because it's something they really feel they want to do, go into healing. That they feel that's something they're suited to do and that is really what their desire is. They're not going in that for those reasons. So then what happens is you kind of drag your way through university, always with, well, there's going to be money at the end, so let's just get on with it. And then you spend long hours in a job that you're not suited to doing and that you don't enjoy. And then you spend all the money, and here's the thing, you spend all the money on making up for all those hours that you spend doing what you don't want to do. And it's really not working, is it? For most, that is not working. And most of us are doing that. Yeah? What little money we get, we spend on our free time. We spend on what we love doing. But we're not doing it in our work, which makes up the most of our lives. So then, if there were no money incentive, but you would purely go there because that is what you want to do, and if you go through university because you're actually interested in that subject, yeah, so you enjoy learning that because it's of interest to you, and you go into a job because you're actually enjoying doing that, and you're suited, in your nature, you're suited to doing that, then it would be its own reward. And here's the thing, the reward would not be up at the top, but in every individual. If you see what I mean. Every self would be rewarded, not just the ones at the top. So, I mean, in that way, a universal income could actually work, that we're getting the right people in the right positions, because they're there because they're suited to doing it, because they want to do it. They're not just there for the money and dragging themselves through the day, doing the minimum of what they have to do, and then go and splash the money out on enjoying themselves. The other thing is obviously, what is it we need for life? What gives to life? And obviously the material, which we're now getting through money, and what is needed, the body needs to be sustained, obviously. We need, our heads need to be engaged. They need to find, the head needs to find satisfaction in what it is doing. But we need also emotional energy, the correct emotional energy being given from everything around us. Yeah? And at the moment, that is what most of the world is starved of. Or they are receiving the wrong emotional energy. They are in fear, which if you stay in that, it will kill you. But we are craving emotional energy of love, of compassion. Yes, we want to get respect and honor, maybe, a recognition of what it is we're doing. And in the end, if respect has been earned, there's no reason why you shouldn't give it. Yeah? So there used to be a time where people doctors and stuff were honored because of the work they were doing, if they were good doctors. So they had earned that. They had earned that respect, and they were given it. They received the respect, the gratitude, maybe even love of those around them through their work, through their good works. So again, if the right person is in the right position, doing really good for others in their works, they would actually get that emotional energy coming back to them. So your emotional self would be fed. Again, most of us are not in that position because, I mean, doctors at the moment, like here in the NHS, they get an awful lot of crap, negative energy from the patients, yeah? Not because of what is happening is their fault. They're trying their very best. But the system, and there's doctors going into the system, even, let's say, those that went in there with the best of intentions and because they were suited to it. Same in politics, same as everywhere else. They very soon become disillusioned because they want to go in there doing what that system is supposed to do, but the system is not working to heal, but to make profit for some. Same as everything else. So again, they're going in there trying their very best up against the system. The whole thing goes belly up and they are receiving all the negative energy from everybody. Which, after a while you falter, what the hell am I doing this for? But, and then look at the top, and there is again, I've listened to David Icke just yesterday, talking about psychopaths, which they are, which is in the end a lack of empathy. Very strongly, you are just concentrated on yourself. Good and bad is according to yourself. And you have no empathy with anything else. You're not considering good and bad for anything else. The reason why they became psychopaths is because of what they were doing, for myself. The emotional energy that they got from us increasingly is not that one of gratitude, and we're not honoring them and we have no respect for them because they are incurring our wrath because of what they're doing. That is why becoming a psychopath is probably self-preservation. It is self-preservation. It's warding off the negative energies that you would receive off in abundance. It's either they are psychopaths or they're standing there making that bloody stupid hand signal, to ward off the bad energies that are coming. Because they understand that those energies are real and they're actually doing something inside of yourself. They're actually working something. So just to recap, if we had a universal income, a good standard of living for all, if people would go into a job because that is for no other incentive, but that is that is where their desire is taking them, and they're good at that and they're enjoying what they're doing, means we would have far better people doing far better work in the jobs that they're in. And if they're doing good work, they would actually receive the positive emotional energy that would keep them going. And in that way, the recipient of good is actually the self. Every self in the first instant. And it would create something that would be good for all, hopefully. So again, don't say universal income is bad because of the way they are working at. good and bad is usually not in the idea, but in the way that you work it. Good and evil is in what you do with it. So the way they are working it, it would be disastrous. But you could work it in a way where it could actually be extremely good, if you think about it. Anyway, I will leave it at that for today, and please, if this is any good to you, share my videos, please donate to my channel, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.